Hey everyone, welcome back to The Rustic Wife. I'm Alana. Today I'm going to be talking about garden seeds. Tomorrow we will be starting some indoors so that we can transplant later on when the weather gets warmer. So I thought I would show you all the seeds that I've received from the companies that I've ordered them from, and with the exception of a couple seeds, and I'll talk about those later. So since we'll be sowing them tomorrow, I thought I'd do a seed haul and show you what we got, and also talk about our favorite ones we grow year after year. And there's a few in here that I've never grown before, so I'm excited to try those. So I did a video on how to select garden seeds and how to read the seed catalogs. So I will leave that link above and you can check that out if you want. The places that I ordered seeds from this year are Johnny's in Maine, and that's in the United States. Vessie's in Prince Edward Island, Canada, William Dam, which is in Ontario, Canada, and I also ordered some from Mary's Heirloom Seeds, and they are located in Texas. I've also picked some up as well from our feed store, just to have, because I can't go near seeds and not buy some. So I'll be showing you everything that we've ordered and a few of the things that I picked up at the seed store too. Now we won't start all of our seeds indoors, we just start a select few, and the reason why we do start some indoors is because our growing season isn't long enough to actually produce a mature, say, onion or leek, and that is what we start indoors, are onions, leeks, celery, and shallots. So that's what we have to start. We also start tomatoes and peppers indoors. So we are zone 5B. Some zones actually you can just direct seed. Other ones you may have to start more seeds indoors if you have a much shorter season. So our last frost date is generally May 24th, but last year we planted our whole garden May 24th, and we had a late snow which was May 28th, and all of our tomatoes and all of our peppers were killed with that late snow. So luckily we had a lot of seedlings still that I was planning on selling, but we didn't, and we had those to replant. So that was good. And our first frost date is generally maybe the first or second week of October. It just really depends. So our season isn't long enough to direct seed tomatoes, peppers, onions, leeks, celery. So that is why we have to start them indoors. So tomorrow we will be starting our, like I just mentioned, our celery and shallots, leeks, and onions. And then we're going to start our tomatoes and our peppers. Now it's very easy to start your tomatoes too early, like we usually do each year, but we're going to hold off, because if you start them too early, they get really leggy and you have to keep transplanting them from pot to pot. So I think we're going to hold off for another month for our tomatoes and peppers. The first thing we'll be planting tomorrow are Walla sweet onions. We've grown these for many years. Last year we had Walla and candy, but we couldn't get candy this year, so we're just doing this variety. And like I mentioned, they're a sweet onion, and we have really good luck with them. Last year we had some botrytis in our crop, but I heard a lot of people had issues with their onions. So hopefully this year we continue with our good luck. And we find that they store really well too. For a sweet onion, we have great luck with those. So those ones are Walla. The next one is a hybrid shallot. I have not grown this variety before. I've not grown them from seed before. Usually I just get the little bulbs, but I'm going to try these from seed this year. So those will be started tomorrow. We have leeks, and this variety is called Lancelot, and it is fantastic. This is about maybe the 5th year we'll be growing it, and the taste is excellent. We have really good luck with sturdy, disease-resistant plants. The storage is fabulous. We usually store them in the basement fridge in the crisper, and some of them I do cut up and portion them out in the freezer so that they're quite handy, but we will store those in the crisper in the basement, and they last for months. The flavor stays too, so that's this one. Next is celery, and this variety is called Tango. Again, we probably won't stray from this variety. The flavor is outstanding. We actually don't harvest these until, well, usually when the snow flies. And they're so sweet. I never used to eat celery unless I had Cheese Whiz on it. But these ones, I just pluck them right out of the garden and eat them like that. And they're really sweet. So this variety is called Tango. So that's everything that we're going to be planting tomorrow. And in about 3 weeks, we're going to be starting our peppers and our tomatoes. So the varieties that I've chosen this year are, again, they are jalapeno and they're called Jedi. They are beautiful. They produce, it's an excellent yield for the really large jalapeno peppers, and they're fabulous. So this is the 3rd year growing Jedi peppers. And the next one is Hungarian hot wax peppers. I'll be doing pickled pepper rings. That's what I want to use those for. And the jalapenos, I pickle those as well. And the next one is, it's called Intruder, and it's a green bell pepper. And it is really lovely. They're very large, thick walls on them, really excellent flavor, nice and sweet, crunchy. So this will be our 3rd year growing these too, and excellent. Now for our tomatoes, there's some that I have grown before and there'll be some new ones. This one is Cherokee Purple, and I grew these last year. I did a video on my favorite tomatoes that I grew, and the ones that I liked and the ones that I didn't like, and I'll link that above. And I did grow Cherokee Purple last year, and I don't think I gave it a great chance, so I wanted to try it again. So Cherokee Purple, it's an heirloom variety, and so that one we're trying. And this is new. These are called Cherry Falls cherry tomatoes, and they are a determinate plant, which means they don't need to be staked. It'll be more like a short bush style plant. And apparently the yields are really high and they're super, super sweet. So that one I'm going to try this year. Cherry Falls. And this one, it is also an old heirloom variety. It's called Black Crim. I've never grown this one before. I'm excited to try this one. I've heard good things about this. Now this one here, I found it. It's called Subarctic Plenty. I've never grown it before. But apparently it was developed in Alberta for prairie climate, and it's supposed to be great for colder regions. So I wondered if maybe these would last the longest and maybe extend my tomato season. So I thought I'd try those. And of course, our all-time favorite, Bonny Best. These ones have always been our favorite. We planted them for many years. It's also an heirloom variety, and they are great for fresh eating, great for canning. So I'll be planting lots of those. And another one, this was called Premio from Vessie's. It was their top pick. I've never tried these ones either. And they are supposed to be a nice, just a nice round size with, they cluster. And I thought that'd be really nice for salads. So I'm going to try that one. And another cherry tomato variety, and they're called Chocolate Sprinkles. Not tried those, but apparently they're really sweet, so I'm excited to try these. And we will be growing San Marzano again. In the video that I did, I tried 3 different paste tomatoes, and these ones, San Marzano, are always win for me. So we'll be planting those for paste. And another one that I tried last year, it is an Italian variety, and it was excellent for slicing, but also great for sauce. It's called Cuor de Bo, and that is Italian for ox heart, and it is such a beautiful tasting tomato, and the shape of it is really different. It almost looks like a little Chinese dumpling or something, and it's really good. I also ordered from Mary's Heirloom Seeds in Texas. I also ordered black cherry tomatoes. I'm going to try those as well, and they are just the little ones. So that's everything. We'll be starting from seed. So I'll go through everything that we got to direct seed. One more thing that I'm going to do to start inside is this watermelon. We don't usually have good luck with watermelon. We don't have a long growing season, but I got these from Vessie's, and it's called Belmont Hybrid. And they look really sweet. So we'll try that. I'm excited to try that. Hopefully we get watermelon this year. So now for direct seed, I have several squash varieties. I have Celebration Winter Squash. It's an acorn squash, and supposed to be really sweet. So we'll try that. I did try these. These are called Sweet Dumpling, and they were fabulous. They were quite dense and sweet, and they stored pretty well. Also, another acorn squash. It's a mini one. It's supposed to be really high in yields, and it's called Teddy. I haven't tried this one. Last year we grew, actually the last 2 years, we grew a mini pie pumpkin called Cinnamon Girl. And although they were good, I just don't love them for pies. Do you ever get that pure pumpkin from Edie Smith or Libby to make your pie filling? I wanted my pumpkin to be like that. So the pumpkins that they use for Edie Smith and Libby's is actually a winter squash, and it's called Dickinson, and it's a really old variety, and it was brought over by Elijah Dickinson from Kentucky to Illinois in 1835, and it's been growing since and been a favorite everywhere for pumpkin pies. So I got my seeds from Mary's Heirloom Seeds in Texas, so I'm still waiting for those. I just ordered them 2 weeks ago, so I'm excited to try those. They are actually a large pumpkin, a tan to orange rind, and it's a dense flesh on the inside and quite sweet and a favorite for pumpkin pies. Next thing are carrots, and we have grown these two varieties for the last few years, and we have not been disappointed. They are both really sweet tasting, excellent for storage. And I just did a video on how we store our carrots all winter long in sand down our basement. So I'll leave that video up there and you can have a look. So the first variety is called Bolero, and it is really sweet, excellent for storage, and it's a Nantes variety, and it means it's got a rounded tip. It's not tapered. So that is a favorite. And the next one is called Sugar Snax. Now this one is an Imperator variety, which means it's long and tapered and sweet, hence the name Sugar Snax, and also great for storage. So these two will be planting again. Next are beets. I have not grown this variety before. It's called Rhonda, and I chose this one because it said it had really strong tops and consistent, nice sizes, like little round beets, and it is really sweet and it stores well. So that was a huge thing for me, sweet and stores well, because I will be putting these in sand this year to last me all winter as well, just like the carrots. Next are parsnips. I just picked this variety up at a feed store. It's from Weston Seeds, and it is supposed to be longer than most parsnips, free of side shoots, and it's supposed to be buttery, which is good. I love parsnips in stew and soup, so we'll be growing these this year. Also for my cucumbers, I'm trying 2 different varieties this year because I usually grow Summer Dance, which is an English variety, and Cool Customer, which is a little pickler. Both of those I have had trouble with in the past with powdery mildew and cucumber mosaic, so I'm not going to try those this year. So this one's called Supremo. I've not tried this before. That is a pickler. And another one called Adam Gherkin. So these are the tiny little picklers. So I'm just going to grow picklers this year because that's all I make pickles out of them, and I'll just eat the picklers fresh. So these two I've not tried before, but I'm excited to. And also another purchase from Weston Seeds, and that was just picked up at a grocery store too, and zucchini. So that's another one. So 2 varieties of radishes that I have not grown before, and this one's called Red Rover. And the reason why I chose this one is it's because it's sweet, and also it holds up in warmer temperatures. So you know when you plant your radishes early in spring, and then as soon as you get some warm temperatures, they bolt and they're quite hot or bitter. So this is supposed to be a good one for when the temperatures get warm. And the next one is called Watermelon. It's supposed to be exceptionally mild and sweet and good for fall planting because they prefer cooler temperatures. So I'm going to try that one. Next are cabbages and Brussels sprouts. The first one we grew last year. It's a red variety, and it's called Ruby Perfection, and it was really good. It was sweet, small dense heads with tight leaves, and so we're going to grow that again. Another one called Reaction. I think we've grown this in the past, and it's again nice tight leaves on it, dense and great for storage. So both the Ruby Perfection, the red cabbage, and the Reaction green cabbage are both supposed to be really good for storage, so that's another reason why we chose these two. Next are Brussels sprouts. I have never successfully grown these, and the reason why is because I never get the row covers on in time. I don't know why. I had them last year, but I didn't. So this year I'm going to, and this variety is called Marty. I think that's how you say it. Marty or Marte if you're French. So that one I'll be trying this year, and I'm excited to get Brussels sprouts if I do get them. We're also trying Napa cabbage this year. This is called Blues Hybrid. Not tried this one, but I'm excited to. I wanted to make some kimchi. And also new to me to grow is pak choi. So I picked this up and I'm excited about that. Now our sweet corn, we have grown this variety this will be our 3rd year, and it's called Luscious. It is so sweet. It's a bicolored variety, and it is honestly lovely. So that variety is called Luscious. Our green beans, hands down, our favorite green bean is Valentino. And I will cry if I can never get this variety again. It's a long, slender bean. It doesn't have the big seeds when it gets too old. They're perfectly lovely and straight. And now we did have mosaic virus on those last year, but that's the first year we've ever had problems, and it was probably in the soil. So we did get a crop from them. But the Valentino beans, it says they're usually for fresh market, but I can them and they're wonderful. And I've frozen them before, but it's all around great bean. So Valentino is what we'll be growing again this year. The yellow wax bean, the variety we will be growing is called Goldmine. Again, excellent, long, straight beans, stringless, and same with the Valentino, stringless, and just all around great. So we've grown both of those varieties for years. The peas that we grow, the variety is called Dalvay. We have grown them for a few years now, and they're really lovely too. Nice long pods, beautiful little uniform sweet peas on the inside, and they have more of like a curly leaf almost. It looks a little bit darker green than the variety I grew with it last year. I can't remember what that was called, but we enjoyed Dalvay, so that one will be growing again. I have my herb garden pretty much established. I save dill seed year after year, so I'll be using my own. Usually I save cilantro seed too, but I didn't this year, so I've ordered some cilantro, and this variety is called Calypso. I also grow basil, and this is a basic Italian variety, and I got this from Weston Seeds. Our spinach, it's a smooth leaf variety. It's called Gazelle, and I have not grown this one. This is new to me this year, so I'll be trying that. And our lettuce, variety of them I've gotten from Vessie's or just from the feed store, and just the green mix, mesclun. I've got a spicy Italian mix as well, and some romaine lettuce. So that's everything that we'll be growing this year for now, until I probably seed some more seeds somewhere else. But so far that's what we have, and I need to make my plan for the garden, and I want to make sure I rotate crops, especially since I had mosaic virus on the beans. I want to make sure I rotate anything that could be affected with mosaic virus. I want them to be nowhere around there. So I'm gonna have to get to starting our seeds tomorrow and making my plan and figuring out what I'm gonna put where and how many rows of each I want. So, and I always say I, but James is part of this too, what we want. So I'm glad you came along with me today, and I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you again next time.